let's start off with intros. Name, what you do, the company you're at, favorite reality TV show.
Oh. Okay, all right. I'm Katie Hudson. I work at UrbanStems. I'm our content director, and I head up our creative team. If you're not familiar with UrbanStems, we are a modern flower and gifting company. The ultimate goal for us is to really make sure we make people feel cared for. And we offer next day delivery nationwide and then same day in New York, DC, and then we just expanded to LA. And my favorite reality show would have to be anything Housewives, anything on Bravo.
Do you have a specific state or city?
City, I'm gonna go with Potomac. 'Cause
Okay.
I used to live in DC, yes.
Okay.
Thank
We
you.
got some
Thank
Potomac
you.
fans
Yeah.
over there. Amazing.
I'm Amanda Elam. I'm the Chief Marketing Officer at Bloomreach. We are a marketing automation company for e-commerce, so it includes things like email and SMS and ads, even on channels like TikTok. And my favorite reality, I want to say something like Home, but really it's Selling Sunset.
Okay.
So
A lot of Selling Sunset fans.
what's your favorite reality?
I would probably say Summer House or A Real Housewives, Salt Lake City.
Oh,
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Nobody saw that coming.
Yeah.
We should unpack that for 20 minutes.
Yeah. Amazing. So, AI, huge topic right now. I think everybody and their mother is talking about it.
Maybe not their mothers.
Yeah, I don't know. My mom's on ChatGPT lately. It's
Okay.
kind of scary. If I go to the Bloomreach site, you guys do so much. But tell me a little bit about what Bloomreach does within AI.
Yeah, so I think even following on what Ben was just talking about, returns cost a ton of money. So how can you predict someone's likelihood to return and don't include them in an ad group? So that's one of the examples. We can exclude a customer who our AI predicts is likely to return a product so that it doesn't cost you money. We can do things like auto-enrolling campaigns. So we predict that someone is likely to churn or to you're going to lose them. They have been in your database for some period of time without a purchase. We can enroll them in an offer that's most likely to convert them. We also do channel and time preference, and we've been hearing about that forever, right time, right message, right offer. But the reality is every SMS you send costs money, every email you send costs money, so don't send it if they're not going to convert on an SMS. And don't send an SMS when every other brand does at 2 o'clock, which is when I get 10 or 15 offers on my phone. So you only spend the money to send an SMS if there's a good chance of converting. You only spend to send the money for an email if they're going to convert. And then things like best fit product recommendations. We actually, with Yves Rocher, did a test, and they were able to recommend products to an individual based on their customer profile, and they saw an 11 times increase in revenue on that offer over their top seller and on customers who look like you purchased this item. And those are ways that we use AI to help e-commerce brands really drive revenue.
And so one thought I always have when I see AI is this just a bunch of Indians that are working around the clock? And so could you explain just a little bit of what is the, in a fifth grade speak, how does the AI work?
Yeah, so it's, the large language models, which we've been a little bit more familiar with. A lot of us have become exposed to them with ChatGPT. It's essentially vector-based algorithms. So it's building associations by converting words and letters into bits and bytes that all of a sudden computers can process a heck of a lot faster and be able to return results with word associations that we weren't really able to understand before. And so that's the newest version of algorithms. But before that, machine learning and a lot of other developments in AI have helped us build connections between data points at scale. And that essentially making sure your database is set up in order to be able to do that, which is a project that we've worked on with UrbanStems, making sure your customer data is connected to your product data. Once you have that infrastructure set up, then the algorithms are able to do their job and do some of the use cases that we just talked about.
Amazing. And Katie, Bloomreach has got so many different features, so many ways to use it. I imagine with you guys, site search is probably a huge piece where Bloomreach can help as well. Prior to AI, how did you initially start using Bloomreach, and what were the benefits you saw as a marketer there?
Yeah, I think from the marketing side, we brought on Bloomreach last year, I think around May. And initially what we found, I've been at UrbanStems for about 6 years. So prior to bringing on Bloomreach, all of our customer data was living in 100 different places, it felt like. So it was very hard internally to feel empowered or sure about ways to market and reach our customers. So the first thing we were looking at is looking for a CDP that we can kind of have everything in one place.
And what's CDP?
Customer data platform. So how can we kind of see like what I'm explaining of like everything about a customer. So now we're able to see AOV on a customer, gender, and at a flower business, we can see what type of flower they like actually too. So that's been huge for us. This might not be that helpful to some of you out there if you don't work at a flower company, but whenever we market peonies, it's like a huge flower for us. People go crazy for them. We started to see that as a huge opportunity with Bloomreach because we could see, all right, these customers looked at this flower. Let's take that. We can take the customer and all of the segments and then put it into Meta and create a lookalike audience to hopefully find other customers, potential customers that might like peonies too. So I think with Bloomreach it's just giving a lot more opportunity. And then I think as we kind of talk more about AI, that was something we were looking for with a partner that we brought on, was just being able to bring new ideas in staying up to date and making sure that we can really evolve as a brand too.
And Amanda, would you say, actually, what type of business do you think benefits most from Bloomreach? It sounds like the higher SKU count, the more effective Bloomreach could be for them. Is that right?
Yeah, I mean, SKU counts matter, but really it's about how personal a brand wants to get with their customers. And so if you want to get to the place where you can get as close to an individual communication with a customer as possible, then that's who Bloomreach best serves, because we genuinely want to help brands build relationships at an individual level with their customers, and we provide all the tooling and personalization to do that.
Katie, one of the easiest hacks, I think, for smaller brands when they're testing content is throwing it up on short form platforms to understand what hits and then taking what works well and moving it over to the paid side. How do you think about leveraging Bloomreach to help you understand what it is from a content standpoint needs to get done next, or even thinking about your planogram of content for the next 2 months or 3 months?
Yeah, I was going to say we're kind of opposite. We almost test on paid first because with the amount that we're spending each week, we're able to run multiple A/B tests at a time. So that's been very helpful. So often on the paid side, we're taking customer segmentation, like I was saying, from Bloomreach, putting it in. One thing that we found with the peony segment was we should be creating just a separate ad campaign focused on this. Last year we weren't doing that, but with the data that we were seeing in Bloomreach, we started to really find that the more niche customer segmentation we have on the paid side, the better conversion rate we're seeing too. So we're constantly testing our P&E campaign on the paid side, creating landing pages and kind of seeing what works there. And then utilizing that and going back to the rest of our team, like our e-commerce team or our forecasting team, and saying like, hey, they're resonating with this SKU that we're seeing, this color, this price point, and just looking at that data and making sure it gets relayed to the rest of the team internally too.
Amazing. Amanda, what have been you probably see so much data across tons of merchants, categories, et cetera. What are the things you found most surprising that you think, if you could, if you're talking to a founder of a company that you're working with today, if they could tell themselves something based on your data, 5 years ago, what would some of those things be?
Yeah, I think the thing that always gets sacrificed because teams are so small are those elements of getting really specific and personalized to the customer. And so it's always there's a volume game, which Ben and you were talking earlier about performance marketing is becoming the new buzzword. I think that has been a buzzword for a super long time. But the reality is it's been a volume game, and it's been how many volumes of things can we push through to net a % of revenue, and we're tracking all these metrics, and the more that we put in, the more we get out. And I think that is what's changing. It really is becoming much more about how do I individually serve customers? How do I make sure to deliver a good customer experience? The life cycle of that customer is becoming more important than ever. And I think if I could tell brands 5 years ago what the hot trend was going to be, it would be retention. How do you really keep existing customers engaged with your brand, buying more, and to become huge brand advocates?
Not to plug Bloomreach here,
That's
But-
not at all what this is about.
Yeah. What are some of the things Bloomreach does around retention to work with brands to extend lifetime value or extend more out of every customer that comes in, whether that's because they bought already or you've got their email or their phone number?
I could answer this, but nobody wants to hear from me. So, Katie, why don't you answer for how you do that?
I think so going into this year, our fiscal year starts in July. So retention has been a huge focus for us at the company, kind of what Ben was talking to, just with the economy and knowing that people might not be as likely to spend $80 on a bouquet. So using Bloomreach to kind of hit the right people at the right time, I think what Amanda was saying was so true. We want to make sure we're efficient with our spend too, and we're not, in the past before Bloomreach, we were giving everyone a promo code and not really just hoping, all right, let's see what the conversion rate is there, and not really having a segment that we know these customers are likely to spend at this time, so let's show them that discount, while other customers who might spend but don't need the discount, we don't need to show it to them. So that's been a huge thing for us as well, is just the retention side, but then the efficiency side too, and that's going to continue to be a focus. And I think with some of the AI components of what Bloomreach is doing going into this year, that's going to be incredibly helpful for us too, of making sure we're showing the right bouquets. Our inventory is constantly fluctuating because it's a perishable product, so what might be available in New York City is not going to be available in LA. So making sure that we're showing you a product that's actually available, and that was a challenge too in the past, but that's been incredibly helpful now to be able to show we're showing what's in stock and what a customer is likely to convert on.
Can you talk a bit more about the discounts showing to new customers? So I think one thing that everybody ideally wants to do is run ads with discounts because obviously higher click-through rate and higher conversion rate. But what have you seen that has surprised you around being able to treat customers differently? Have you seen an increase in or a decrease in conversion rate by not offering discounts to some? Or how have you been able to navigate that?
Discounts still work no matter what. That's really what we're finding. But on, like I said, with the paid side, that's where we're really testing. So we do have different audiences where we might know a customer that has converted with us in the past 3 months. We'll give them a 15% off code. But if somebody hasn't come back in a while, we can still look at the Bloomreach data and know, let's give them a 20% off. If they haven't come back in a year, more often than not, we're not advertising to them anymore. They're just not a valuable customer. But what we've seen is no matter what, on the advertising side, we do have to offer some sort of promo code to just make it more likely for them to convert.
Amazing. Amanda, I feel like your guys' website, by the way, for everybody who hasn't gone to the Bloomreach site, the website is full of gold as well. Reports, white papers, good blog posts, really informational. How do you guys use Bloomreach as a B2B company?
Yeah, well, we don't. We build this product for B2C companies. So we build it to engage with an individual customer in particularly e-commerce. So we do not want to distract our product and engineering teams with the needs of a B2B marketing company. A B2B technology company. So we do not use our own marketing automation tool, but we do use we have a content product as well. So our website is built on our content product, and there are some other elements. We do use our analytics and insights, and so we have full web tracking even from anonymous users. We aggregate soft and hard IDs, and so we do use our analytics tools to understand our customer journeys across the web all the way through to conversion to purchase, but we do not use our marketing automation.
On that note, are you guys able to still keep users profiled and tracked even without all of the tracking capabilities from Apple?
We absolutely do. So we have direct integrations with, for example, Facebook. It's called CAPI, Conversion API. And so that's a connection directly into the Facebook platform. You don't need a cookie in order to continue to do tracking or purchase history or even segmentation. And we move customers in and out of those segments directly based on their Facebook behavioral data. We do that with Google and several other platforms as well.
Amazing. Katie, how do you use Bloomreach in a non-paid way? Like when it comes to, or not even non-customer acquisition, like other pieces of the business, how does Bloomreach fit in?
So we use Bloomreach now across the board with all of our data, but the biggest thing for me in my role as a content manager, I work closely with our CRM team. All of our emails are being sent out through Bloomreach. That has been a seamless process for us. We are in the process of setting up new flows and using that data of hitting customers at the right time and making sure that we also know maybe why this person might be sending. So for us with the gifting platform, are they more likely to send for a birthday, for an anniversary, and setting up the right content based off of Bloomreach's data and the right creative too. So we're doing a lot of A/B testing on the Bloomreach side, whether it's landing pages that we're driving to or the overall creative. What kind of photography, imagery are we showing? What's our tone of voice that we want to be testing to? And making sure that certain customers are seeing what we believe to be the content that they want to see. So that's been a big thing, at least on the creative side, is kind of how we're emailing our customers based off of Bloomreach's data and what we're seeing.
And it sounds like Bloomreach is pretty much integrated into every piece of the UrbanStems business. What's the lift like in terms of integration and getting Bloomreach set up and getting Bloomreach to learn about your customers and the types of customers you want to attract?
Yeah, so when I said we brought on Bloomreach in May, I want to say it was, my mic went out. Maybe, okay. We brought him on last May, which that is our busiest time of year. It's Mother's Day in the flower industry. That's the biggest holiday over Valentine's Day. But we knew that was going to be a priority going into Mother's Day last year, that we had to bring on a new partner. So it was all hands on deck, but honestly, it was a seamless process. There was a little bit of a learning curve of going from one CRM tool to another, but since then it's become great because now everything, like I said, is in one place. We can go see all the data, build new segments, and then also it's kind of forcing internally our teams to work closer together. So before, our paid media team was somewhat separate from, like, let's say, the CRM team. Now they're working together because they're using the same customer segmentation to drive results. It's just different platforms, but we're using Bloomreach in all one place.
Amazing. And Amanda, with Bloomreach's expansive products, what else is coming next in terms of how you guys are thinking about developing more for your merchants or within AI? What else is on the Bloomreach product roadmap?
Yeah, so one of the things I'm super excited about is an auto segmentation. So you don't have to think of all the ways in which you could look at a customer base in order to build segments. We would help detect those segments for you and automatically recommend them. Also, automated workflow builders. I think that my marketing ops team, we have hundreds of them. You guys probably hate doing that part. So an auto workflow builder that actually builds a campaign workflow at the individual customer level at scale. And then another is obviously using conversational AI. So product expertise. Katie and UrbanStems have talked about what if somebody has questions about flowers or how long they live or flower types and those kinds of things. Being able to provide that conversational aspect using AI on brand sites.
Amazing. Is there anything you guys feel we haven't touched on that would benefit the audience?
Well, we do have an offer. Katie, did you want to?
This could benefit you maybe. So we do have an offer on UrbanStems right now for 20% off if you use code Bloomreach. That's for the rest of the month. So I think some of you might have the card, or...
Yeah, we've got cards that you can grab. You can also get a bag from the vending machine, which has the code in it. It's a super secret code.
Yeah, Bloomreach. But no, I think too, just for AI, like on the content side and thinking about that, that's something that UrbanStems is starting to really heavily lean into in a creative way. One thing we've seen is just our brand awareness is starting to decline, but also thinking through how can we use AI to help improve our brand. So what we've seen and trying to do is, what are the creative ideas of how can we incorporate ChatGPT? One thing we're looking into is, can we create some sort of AI conversational chatbot on our site that if a customer did have questions about their bouquet, they could go in and immediately get the answer they're looking for, as opposed to sending them to a care page where they kind of have to figure it out themselves. That's one thing we're exploring. A competitor of ours recently got a ton of press because they created a landing page that used AI to generate notes to your recipient. So you could say, I'm sending to this person, I want it to be a poem, and here's 3 things about the person, and it would generate, based off of ChatGPT, this cute little note that you could then send to the recipient. That got them a ton of press, and that was a huge win for them, and something that internally we were like, oh, shoot, I wish we did that. So that's something where it's like, how can we kind of be creative with AI and make it a press-worthy moment, too?
Amazing. Amanda, anything else?
I'm super excited to see what happens with AI. I hope we're all embracing it and trying to figure out how we use it and create new jobs and new industries. We saw this obviously with mobile phone, and one of my favorite being DoorDash and Uber Eats. So we actually, on this card also, we're hosting an AI conference where we're actually opening this discussion to people who want to get involved in shaping the future of e-commerce and how AI is going to impact that. So I'd love to have you join us. We also have a code on this. We're obviously big on codes. And then Katie and I will actually be in the room upstairs right outside of lunch to further this conversation. If you guys want to talk one-on-one or in more of a closer group setting about AI in the future with e-commerce.
Amazing. Well, that's the time we have. Thank you both.
Thank you.